No, God!
Take that shit back to the post-classical era!
Hangzhou has had a long political history. It first started as a county of Qiantang under the Qin dynasty from 221 to 207 BC. Then it was a part of the ancient kingdom of Wu during the Sanguo Shiqi. At this point, Hangzhou was still pretty low-key, and it did not become prominent until after the Sui dynasty made it a prefecture called Hangzhou. It then served as the capital of Wu Yue from 893 to 978 CE during the Shiguo Shiqi.
Hangzhou became the southern Song capital when the Jurchen victoried on northern China in 1126 and made the Emperor Gaozong flee to Hangzhou. But China's problems weren't over yet. In 1242, the Mongols victoried all over China, including the city of Hangzhou.
Hangzhou!
Hangzhou is located in Southeast Asia at the southern wing of the Changjiang Delta. It is also at the west end of the Hangzhou Bay, near the sea on the northwest bank of the Qiantang River. All around the western side of Hangzhou are rolling hills, but closer toward the coast, the city develops into a plains-like topography. Hangzhou also has one of the most famous lakes in China, called Xihu, or West Lake.
Keep off the canal!
Welcome to the Grand Canal.
An important man-made geographical feature is the Grand Canal. In fact, Hangzhou lies at the end of the Grand Canal, which connects Beijing to the coast.
The Grand Canal was one of the major reasons the city of Hangzhou was so successful due to it connecting two major terminals. Currently, the Grand Canal is the largest man-made waterway, being roughly 1,800 kilometers. Over the construction of it, about 3 million people were killed in the process. At the time, its construction was not favored by many people, but it advanced their city greatly. They were heavily involved in the Indian Ocean trade network. The Grand Canal also linked the Yangtze and Yellow rivers together, making it very influential in post-classical trade.
Damn, your girl so fine, but her breath is like whoa. She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to whoa. I'm iced out, ooh, looking like a star, whoa.
A very symbolic geographical feature was Mount Mogan. According to Chinese legend, China's most talented swordsmith, Ganjiang, arrived in the mountains near Hangzhou. One of these mountains was the Mogan Mountain, which was roughly 60 kilometers away from the city. Here he cast and forged a special pair of swords on behalf of Emperor Wu. Gan's wife's name was Moye, hence the name of the mountain, the Mogan Mountains. This area continues to be a major tourist attraction today.
Confucian ethics, which governed much of Chinese society, left elite and cultured scholars viewing themselves as the peak members of society, only second to the imperial family. Below them, the rural farmers were seen as essential pillars to society, since they provided the food. Because of this, they were given more respect than the local merchant, despite the merchant's wealth or power. Confucian scholars viewed merchants this negatively, since they saw the increase in commercialism as a form of moral decay.
A very important leader of Hangzhou was Bai Zhuyi, appointed governor during the Tang dynasty. He was able to control the flow of the West Lake, mitigating concerns of drought, while also making the West Lake into a scenic spot. Later, under the Wu Yue kingdom, leaders like King Chanliu built dikes to protect the city. These Wu Yue leaders were also patrons of the arts, known for their Buddhist temple architecture and artwork. In 1089, another poet, Su Dongpo, became Hangzhou's governor. He was known for building a 1.7-mile long causeway across the West Lake.
Family status was very important in their daily lives and stemmed from the Confucian ideas. The elders were very highly respected in their communities, and it was a very high dishonor to disrespect them. Assaulting or disrespecting elders was punishable by death. The women in the Tang dynasty had more freedom than the women in the Song dynasty. However, both groups still followed the Confucian gender ideas. The men were still the prominent figure in the public sphere, and women generally stayed in the house and took care of the children in the household. Women were also seen doing out-of-the-house work which was new, such as working in town inns and at restaurants. Throughout the history of the city, the population continued to grow. Early in its history, in 613 CE, the population was around 15,000. Moving into the Tang dynasty, the population grew to around 580,000. This was due to the Grand Canal and the expansion of the Tang dynasty. Moving into the Song dynasty, in 1235, the population was roughly 1.24 million. Then in 1275, it was roughly 1.75 million. Hangzhou was thought to be the most populated city in the world between 1180 to 1315 and between 1348 and 1358. Because of the densely populated area and many wooden structures, the city was prone to many fires. Some of the major fires occurred in 1132, 1229, and 1237. In 1237, there were 30,000 people killed by fire. To combat the threat of fires, the government instituted a system of firefighters and watchtowers to protect the city.
I think it's going well, don't you? Put it out! Put it out! Put it out!
The culture of Hangzhou was also highly prolific, with the city producing some of the most prominent Chinese writers, painters, and poets. Examples include Liu Songnian, who was a native of Qiantan and a famous imperial painter, ranked among the four masters of the Southern Song dynasty. Additionally, there were famous poets like Liu Bu and the King Qianchu, who wrote about the West Lake. During this time period, Buddhism and Confucianism played a huge role in Hangzhou. Just as Confucianism had historically influenced Chinese culture through politics and society, it continued to do so in Hangzhou. As for Buddhism, it affected Hangzhou culture by setting a new standard for magnificent arts and architecture. Also, since it was a huge port city where major trade flowed through, Hangzhou became an influential center for spreading religion. In addition to trading ideas, Hangzhou was responsible for trading many commodities such as gold, silk, silver, pearls, spices, rice, tortoise shells, porcelain, tea, and birds and other wild animals. Hangzhou's economy was an ideal system since their exports exceeded their imports.
Alright, what's poppin', my communists? We back here with vlog number 27, and here we're at the home of silk and satin, where I plan to do some trade. I came here for years to get some trade done, but now it's all clogged with this goddamn silk, and I can't get anything done.
The thriving culture of Hangzhou also led to unique architecture. One example is the Liuhe Pagoda, which was constructed by the ruler of the Wuyue Kingdom. The name Liuhe comes from the 6 Buddhist ordinances and is said to calm the tidal bore of the Qiantan River. There are painted figures including animals, flowers, birds, and characters. Additionally, there is a harmonious alternation between light and shade displaying Taoist influence. There is also the Linging Temple built in 328 AD. It is literally translated as the Temple of the Soul's Retreat and is one of the largest and wealthiest Buddhist temples in China. It is regarded as one of the most important temples in southeast China during the Southern Song dynasty.
你好，今天 Ibn Battuta 来杭州了，这是他的想法。
This whole city is surrounded by a wall. Each of the 6 cities is also surrounded by a wall. In the first reside the guards with their commander. I was told that in the muster rolls these amount to 12,000. I lodged one night in the house of the commander. In the second division are the Jews, Christians, and the Turks, who worship the sun. These are numerous, their number is not known, and theirs is the most beautiful city. Their streets are well disposed, and their great men are exceedingly wealthy. The third division is the seat of government. In this resides the chief commander of all China with the forces. This fourth city is the most beautiful of all 6. It is intersected by 3 rivers. The fifth city, which is the largest of them, is inhabited by the common Chinese people, among whom are the most ingenious artificers. The sixth city is inhabited by sailors, fishermen, shipcolkers, and carpenters.
Due to its proximity to the ocean, fish was a staple of the Hangzhou diet. Also, because Hangzhou is located in southern China, rice was an important food.
The time has come for this!
Chinese food.
Nom, 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 nom. Oh, nom, nom, nom.
Hangzhou is also famous for being the birthplace of Longjing cha, considered to be China's finest green tea.
Longjing tea has many benefits, including help with weight management, anti-cancer potential, relief from symptoms of stress and anxiety, and a lower risk of heart problems. Additionally, like with all tea, Longjing can soothe a sore throat, which I need in my case.
My time has come. You must continue your journey without me.
What are you? What? Master! You can't leave me!
You must believe.
Master!